A homeless girl saved a dying man, unaware he's a billionaire. What she did next shocked everyone. The rain fell so hard it felt like the whole world was crying. A little girl stood barefoot on a cold wooden step, her white dress soaked through, staring down at a man in an expensive blue suit who was kneeling in the mud, gasping for air, one hand pressed tight against his chest. "Please," he whispered, his voice shaking. Don't call anyone yet. Just stay with me." The girl tilted her head, rain dripping from her blonde hair onto her small shoulders. "Mister, you look like you're dying, and I don't even know your name." The man tried to smile, but his lips were pale and trembling. "That's the thing, kid. If you knew my name, the whole town would be here in 5 minutes. But right now, it's just you and me. And what you do next is going to change everything." Lily didn't know it yet, but she was staring at one of the richest men in America, and in less than 10 minutes, she would make a choice that would shock the entire country. Before we continue, drop your city in the comments. We'd love to know where you're watching from. And don't forget to like and subscribe so you never miss another powerful story like this. Now let's continue. Lily Turner was 8 years old, but she had already lived a lifetime most adults couldn't imagine. Her mom died when she was 6. Cancer. Lily remembered sitting in the hospital room, holding her mother's cold hand, listening to the machine beep slower and slower until it finally stopped. Her dad tried to keep going. He really did. But after losing his job at the factory, the bills piled up. The rent was late, the lights got shut off, and one night her dad kissed her forehead, told her he loved her, and walked out the door. He never came back. Since then, Lily lived wherever she could, sometimes in the backseat of an old car her dad left behind, sometimes under a bridge, and on really lucky nights at the Rainbow Shelter, a small, rundown place at the edge of town where Miss Clara, the shelter director, let homeless kids sleep if there was space. Tonight, Lily had been standing outside the shelter door, knocking softly, hoping Miss Clara would hear her over the rain. But Miss Clara didn't answer, and that's when Lily heard it. A loud crash from the road, screeching tires, the sound of metal crunching. Then, silence. Most people stayed inside their warm, safe homes, but Lily didn't have a home. And she knew what it felt like to be alone, scared and invisible. So she ran. The rain pounded against Lily's face as she ran down the muddy road, her bare feet slipping on the wet pavement. Up ahead, she saw a dark car tilted halfway into a ditch, its headlights still glowing through the storm. The driver's door was open, and a man was crawling out, coughing hard, one hand gripping his chest. He collapsed onto the ground, face down in the mud. Lily's heart pounded. She dropped to her knees beside him. Mister, are you okay?" The man groaned and rolled onto his back. His face was pale, his suit was torn, and his eyes looked scared. I'm fine," he gasped, even though he clearly wasn't. "Just need a second." "You need a doctor," Lily said, her voice high and panicked. "I can go bang on the shelter door. Miss Clara has a phone. She can call an ambulance." The man's hand shot out and gently grabbed her wrist. No hospital. Not yet. Please." Lily frowned. "But you're hurt." "I know." He coughed again, wincing in pain. "But if you call an ambulance, everyone will know I'm here. And I just need a minute to breathe. Please, just help me sit up." Lily didn't understand. Who was this man? Why didn't he want help? But something in his eyes made her stop asking questions. So she slipped her small shoulder under his arm and helped him sit up against the wooden steps of the shelter, where the roof gave them a little protection from the rain. They sat there together in the cold, wet darkness. Lily pulled a thin, torn blanket from her backpack, the only thing she owned, and draped it over the man's shoulders. He looked at her, surprised. "This is yours. You need it more than me," Lily said simply. The man stared at the blanket, then at the little girl sitting beside him, soaked to the bone, shivering but still trying to help him. His eyes filled with tears. "What's your name?" he asked softly. "Lily. Lily." He nodded like he was memorizing it. "That's a beautiful name. What's yours?" The man hesitated. Then he said, Michael. Okay, Michael. Lily pulled her knees up to her chest. Why don't you want to go to the hospital? Michael stared out at the rain. Because the second I walk into a hospital, people will recognize me. Cameras will show up. Reporters will start asking questions, and I'm so tired of it all. Lily frowned. Are you famous or something? Michael let out a sad laugh. Something like that. Well, you don't look famous. You look scared. Michael turned to her, shocked. No one had ever said that to him before. Not his employees, not his business partners, not even his own family. But this little homeless girl, sitting in the rain with nothing to her name, saw right through him. You're right, Michael whispered. I am scared. Of what? He took a shaky breath. I'm scared that I've spent my whole life building an empire, but I forgot to build a life. I'm scared that I've been so focused on making money that I forgot what really matters. And tonight, driving in the rain, I had a heart attack. And you know what I thought about? Lily shook her head. I thought, if I die right now, who would even care? Who would cry for me? Not my business partners, not the people who work for me, maybe not even my own son, because I've barely seen him in years. Tears rolled down his face, mixing with the rain. Lily didn't say anything for a moment. Then she reached over and took his hand. Her hand was small and cold, but her grip was strong. I would care, she said quietly. Michael looked at her, stunned. I don't even know you, Lily continued, but I know what it's like to feel alone. And I know what it's like when people look at you like you're invisible. So if you died tonight, I would care. And I would cry for you. Michael broke down. He pulled Lily into a hug and sobbed into her hair, holding on to this little girl like she was the only real thing in his entire world. After a few minutes, Michael finally pulled back and wiped his eyes. Thank you, Lily. You reminded me of something I forgot a long time ago. What's that? That kindness still exists. Lily smiled a little. My mom used to say that kindness is free, so we should give it away as much as we can. Your mom sounds like a wise woman. Lily's smile faded. She was. She died 2 years ago. Michael's face fell. I'm so sorry. It's okay. I miss her every day. But I try to remember the things she taught me. Where's your dad? Lily looked down. He left. I don't know where he is. Michael felt his heart shatter all over again. Here was this little girl who had lost everything, sitting in the rain with a stranger, sharing her only blanket, offering him comfort when she had every reason to be angry at the world. Lily, Michael said slowly, I need to tell you something. My full name is Michael Grant. Lily blinked. Okay. Does that name mean anything to you? She shook her head. Michael let out a breath. I'm a billionaire. I own half the buildings in this city. I've been on the cover of magazines. People call me one of the richest men in America. Lily's eyes went wide. Wait, really? Really? Then, why were you driving alone in the rain? Don't rich people have drivers and bodyguards and stuff? Michael smiled sadly. They do. But tonight, I just wanted to be alone. I wanted to drive and think and figure out why my life felt so empty. And then my heart gave out, and I crashed, and you saved me. Lily looked down at her muddy hands. I didn't save you. I just sat with you. Exactly. Michael's voice cracked. You just sat with me. And that's more than anyone else has done in years. Suddenly, the shelter door creaked open. Miss Clara stood there in her old pink robe, holding a flashlight, squinting into the rain. Who's out here? Miss Clara! Lily jumped up. This man needs help. He was in a car crash and... But Miss Clara wasn't listening to Lily. She was staring at Michael, her mouth hanging open, her flashlight shaking in her hand. Oh my God, she whispered. You're Michael Grant. Michael slowly stood up, still holding his chest. Yes, ma'am. Miss Clara's face went white. The Michael Grant? The billionaire? The one who built the Grant Tower downtown? That's me. Miss Clara looked like she might faint. What are you doing here? At my shelter? In the middle of the night? Michael glanced at Lily, then back at Miss Clara. I had a heart attack. My car crashed. And this little girl saved my life. Miss Clara looked at Lily, shocked. Lily, you helped Mr. Grant? Lily nodded. I didn't know who he was. He just looked like he needed help. Miss Clara put a hand over her heart. Oh, sweetheart, do you have any idea what you just did? Lily shook her head. Miss Clara's eyes filled with tears. You just saved one of the most powerful men in the country. An ambulance arrived 10 minutes later. Paramedics rushed Michael onto a stretcher, checked his heart, and confirmed that he had indeed suffered a heart attack. But thanks to Lily keeping him calm, keeping him sitting upright, and staying with him through the worst of it, he was going to be okay. As they loaded him into the ambulance, Michael grabbed Lily's hand one last time. Thank you, Lily. I mean it. You saved my life tonight. Lily squeezed his hand. You're welcome, Michael. I'm going to come back, he promised. I'm going to come back and thank you properly. Lily didn't really believe him. Rich people always made promises they didn't keep. But 3 days later, Michael kept his word. When Michael walked back into the Rainbow Shelter, he wasn't wearing a hospital gown anymore. He was wearing a clean black suit, his hair was combed, and he looked healthy again. But his eyes were different, softer, kinder. Miss Clara nearly fainted again. Mr. Grant, you're back. I told Lily I would be. Michael looked around. Where is she? Miss Clara hesitated. She's outside. She didn't get a bed tonight. We were full. Michael's jaw tightened. Show me. Miss Clara led him outside where Lily was sitting on the back steps, wrapped in her torn blanket, eating a piece of stale bread someone had given her. When she saw Michael, her face lit up. You came back. I told you I would. Michael sat down beside her. Lily, I need to ask you something. Okay. When you saved my life, you didn't ask for anything in return. You didn't ask for money. You didn't ask for a reward. You just helped me. Why? Lily shrugged. Because it was the right thing to do. Michael's eyes filled with tears again. You're 8 years old and you understand something that took me 45 years to figure out. What's that? That kindness isn't about what you get back. It's about what you give. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a folded piece of paper. Lily, I want to give you something. Lily looked nervous. You don't have to give me anything. I know, but I want to. This is a check. It's enough money to pay for you to go to the best school in the state, to live in a safe home, and to never have to sleep outside again. Lily's hands shook as she took the paper. She unfolded it, and when she saw the number, her eyes went wide. $500,000. This can't be real, she whispered. It's real, Michael said gently, but that's not all. Lily looked up at him, tears streaming down her face. I've been thinking a lot about what you said, about how you would care if I died, about how kindness should be free, and I realized I've been living my life all wrong, so I'm going to change, starting now. How? I'm buying this shelter. I'm going to renovate it, expand it, and make sure every single homeless child in this city has a safe place to sleep, and I'm going to name it after you. The Lily Turner Home for Children. Lily couldn't speak. She just cried and threw her arms around Michael's neck, holding on like he was the answer to every prayer she'd ever whispered into the dark. But here's the part that shocked everyone. A month later, after the news story went viral, after reporters called Lily the little girl who saved a billionaire, after the shelter was rebuilt and renamed, Lily did something no one expected. She gave most of the money away. Michael had set up a trust fund for her, and once she turned 18, she could access it. But before that, Lily asked Michael to use the money to help other kids like her, kids who were hungry, scared, and alone. So Michael built 3 more shelters across the state. He started a program that helped homeless families find jobs. He opened a free clinic for kids who couldn't afford doctors, and every single one of those places had a plaque that read, "Inspired by Lily Turner, who taught a billionaire what it means to care." Lily grew up in a safe, warm home. She went to school, she made friends, and she never forgot what it felt like to be invisible. So she made it her mission to see people, really see them. the way her mom had taught her, the way she had seen Michael that rainy night. And Michael? He quit half his business deals. He started spending time with his son. He volunteered at the shelter every week, and he never drove alone in the rain again. Because Lily had taught him something more valuable than all the money in the world. She taught him that kindness, compassion, and love are the only things that really matter, and that sometimes the people with the least to give are the ones who give the most. So now, I want to ask you something. If you were Lily that night, cold, hungry, alone, with nothing but a torn blanket to your name, would you have stopped to help a stranger? Would you have given him your only blanket? Would you have sat with him in the rain when you had every reason to walk away? Or would you have thought, I have my own problems. Someone else will help him? Lily didn't walk away. And because of that one choice, hundreds of kids now have a safe place to sleep. A billionaire learned how to love again, and a little girl who once had nothing became a hero. Kindness doesn't cost anything, but it can change everything. So what would you do? If this story touched your heart, if it made you think, if it reminded you that one small act of kindness can change the world, then I want you to do something for me. Drop a comment below and tell me, what's one act of kindness you've done or someone has done for you that you'll never forget? And if you want to hear more stories like this, stories about hope, love, second chances, and the power of human kindness, then hit that subscribe button and join the Emotional Stories family. Because every day we share true, heartwarming, life-changing stories that will make you believe in people again. Thank you for watching. Thank you for caring. And remember, you have the power to be someone's hero today. All it takes is a little kindness. Subscribe to Emotional Stories for more amazing, heartwarming tales. See you in the next story.